Amiibo Nuzlocke. Let me explain the rules. I will face every raid boss amiibo that I have, starting with the worst one and working my way all the way up to what I deem is my best raid boss amiibo. I can use every single character on the roster, but once they lose a single time, they are no longer usable for me for the remainder of this challenge, and if I have no characters left, well then I lose this challenge. I am able to use every item, but only a single time use per item, no matter if I win or lose the match that the item is associated with. With that being said, let's begin. Alright, roster and item update time. Real quick, I do have a cold, so if I do sound a little funny, that is the reason as to why. But here are the characters that I lost last episode. Captain Falcon, Pyra, and Crom all took the L, which means they are no longer usable for the rest of this challenge. And as for the items that I used last episode, they included the Rage Blaster, the Blue Shell, and the Galaga Boss. And well, each item only has one time use, so they're gone forever. Alright, last week's episode ended off with 2 consecutive losses to this Rob raid boss, so I had a little bit of time to kind of plan what my next strategy should be, and I ended up settling on 2 different options. The first option, which you're going to see obviously first, is me using the home run bat as an item, hoping to knock it out of the park. So Robin was my choice of character to take a crack at this illegal raid boss amiibo that I created, and I was able to hit this, which I actually kind of cheered at in my room when I did that. I was like, oh cool, I was proud of it for no reason, but that really didn't matter because Rob ended up taking my first stock soon after that. But I did quickly swing around the momentum with not just one home run, but I ended up hitting 2 dingers, and of course a teabag. But then Rob ended up remembering that he really doesn't know how to play baseball. Instead of swinging the bat, he just kind of like threw it at my face instead, which I'm pretty sure is illegal in baseball, but you know, he still did it anyway. But then I still had one final plate appearance with Robin, and I pointed to the cheap seats, I called my shot, and this is what happened. Alright, now that Rob is finally behind me, thank goodness for the home run bat, I am able to move forward using Robin, and I'm going to make this next match pretty short, and, well, not so sweet. Meta Knight was my opponent, and I'll just be honest, Meta Knight absolutely controlled this entire battle from start to finish, and, well, ultimately, I lost with Robin. So, Robin got me through Rob, but I couldn't take down Meta Knight. Alright, so now Meta Knight just provided me with another loss, so it's time to try to find another new character to kind of hopefully build up a little bit of a win streak with, and I chose Bowser. Now, I started off with a big ol' dropkick forward smash. I was kind of letting Meta Knight know here, this is what he's going to have to endure throughout this entire match. Now, as we know, Meta Knight is fairly quick for a character. So how do most people try to defeat speedsters? Well, with power. You want to show off your strength. Like another dropkick. So at this point, if I haven't been too clear on what the strategy for this battle was, basically I was just going to try to hit as many forward smashes as possible because, well, Meta Knight's pretty easy to KO, and eventually I found an opening to deliver one final dropkick. And I sealed the victory. Alright, next up on my fighter's road, I stumbled across a lonely looking villager. We did have a nice chat about feet though, it's kind of weird. So he paid me to see an up close and personal picture of my feet. Okay, that was weird, but a little bit later, Villager must have been missing Bowser's monstrous feet again, so he dropped down from the platform and he got another close-up view of what they look like. Now, as we continue duking it out in this little battle that we had, this Beefcake ended up kind of fighting all the way back to even things up at 2 stocks apiece, but when Villager went crazy with the bowling ball, even though he somehow forgot that the bowling ball doesn't drop through the platform, I had to show him what a real strike looked like. Oh look, my favorite Saturday morning cartoon, The Adventures of Sonic Underground, are now underway. And for this little battle, I decided to use another new item, and that would be the Super Mushroom. Now, the item immediately provided me with the upper hand, but Sonic's speed ended up giving him kind of the edge in that department because, well, he was a little bit faster than me. And then he ended up snagging the mushroom as well as my first stock. Then, as the battle continued to wind down, in the final moments of this battle, a gift from the heavens dropped me a super duper mushroom, and I utilized it to its full extent. Alright, so far so good. Bowser's starting to build up a little bit of momentum. We're getting the ball rolling. We got 3 consecutive wins now. And Wii Fit Trainer is standing, or dare I say, posing in our path. So I figured this shouldn't be too difficult of a fight for me, even though I started off by missing a forward smash and then got nailed with one. But I was able to strike back pretty quickly with an forward air offstage, so alright, cool, evened up. But then Wii Fit Trainer somehow used like the power of the sun, or whatever she calls that attack. Her neutral special absolutely pulverized me, and I'm now down to my final stock. And if you thought that was sad, well, it only gets sadder from here because, well, I kind of got played. I ended up trying to go for a volleyball play. I don't know where my joke is going here. Basically, I got spiked, so I lost Bowser in this process. Alright, looks like I need to change characters, and I'm going with the lovable duo of the Ice Climbers. Now, I play them from time to time, but it's been a little while, so I was kind of rusty here, and maybe that's a hint for what's to come, but the match did start okay here. We both ended up hitting each other simultaneously, which took out each other's first stocks. But then things drastically started sliding down the old iceberg as stock 2 disappeared quickly. And then, well, finally, I was trying to get back on stage, and I got caught with another air attack, ending yet another character's run in this series. Good night, Ice Climbers. Okay, listen here. No more playing around. Time to rely on old, reliable King K. Rool. So I'm just gonna say 3 more things. Forward tilt. Down air. And forward smash. Oh, and I win. Alright, new opponent is the one and only medical man himself, Doc Mario. And my new character of choice is Terry. I'll be trying to attempt, like usual, some sort of win streak with this new character. So I'm also choosing an item for this match, and that item is going to be the bumper. And boy, I'm glad that I turned on the bumper. Now, early on, I did miss the ledge with an up special, leading to my first, well, literal downfall. But I did start bouncing back with a nice forward smash, knocking the Doc too far away to recover. And that's where the bumper finally came in clutch. As I ended up picking it up, I chucked it in the perfect location, and the Doc's brain must have malfunctioned or something because he air dodged straight into it, leaving him only his up special to recover, and, well, that clearly wasn't enough. Now in the final moments, with 0 stocks to spare, I caught Doc in the perfect spot, asked him why my medical bills are so high. I just spiked him and I won the match, and I didn't have to pay for no medical insurance. Alright, looks like Corruption or Dark Samus is now blocking my path forward, and well, Dark Samus was doing a mighty fine job at blocking me from doing anything productive, as before I even knew it, my first 2 stocks were gone, and I was really reeling all of a sudden. Like, I thought Terry would kind of carry me for at least a couple more matches. But as with any battle, you have to take it 1 stock at a time, so I ended up taking Dark Samus's first stock, Then as I was getting some good old licks in, I decided to go off stage, miss an air spike, and then got down air spiked instead. Bye-bye, Terry. Alright, we've lost enough characters, so if you guess I'm going to switch back into King K. Rool, my main character, well, nice guess. So, after a little bit of battling, Dark Samus ended up evening things up at 2 apiece here. But when Dark Samus did that, I kind of locked into Croco mode, and, well, what that means is, I got hit by several attacks, making me sweat even more than I normally would, but eventually, I just sorta held center stage with a charged up forward smash, and I guess Dark Samus couldn't really resist seeing what it felt like.